When it comes to Mexican beer, many around the world automatically think of Corona Extra. In production since 1925, this Grupo Modelo beer is the top imported beer in the United States. While commonly served with a wedge of lime, is Corona Extra able to stand up against other classic Mexican beers? Find out now on Two Dudes Reviews.
What up, guys? How's it going? Yes, today we're doing Corona Extra. I've actually been kind of putting off this Mexican beer for a while, but gotta do it. So let's just break it open. I was debating doing between the can and the bottle, but let's face it, normally when you get it in a restaurant or whatever, you get it in the bottle. So that's what I'm gonna do. I will not be churching it up with the lime. I feel like if you have to add fruit to change the flavor to make it drinkable, then it's not good. But I haven't had like a real Corona in a while. So I don't know how I'm going to rate it. But one thing, in case I don't go very favorably for the rating, I will say, despite the fact that it's clear glass, and if you've watched any of my other reviews before, you know I detest the clear bottle. It's just opens it up for being skunked and whatnot. I love the fact that the label's painted on. I think that's one of my favorite things. And so, in terms of that, it's fantastic. So, I can't hate on the bottle. And really, the best way the bottle, you get a better image of it when it is a clear glass with a painted on label. And so, I don't know. I like the bottle, even though it skunks up the beer. Who knows? Maybe in a future episode I might do a comparative between the glass and the can. Maybe one tastes a little fresher. I don't know. But let's get into the taste. Or let's get into the smell. You do have like a spiciness to it. It's got that wet wheat aroma that certain Pilsners have, but it also has like a spicy aroma to it that kind of comes off with the carbonation. But there's not a whole lot. You get you have the wet bread. There's a little like lemon rind kind of thing going on. The spicy, there is like there's almost like a hint of like a pepperish kind of thing going on. But yeah, I mean, it's not super complex. It's not supposed to be. It's made to be able to, to drink it easily during when it's hot out, and for those kind of beers, you don't need it. You don't want like a billion different flavors because then you're supposed to be able to drink it quickly. So, I don't know. It smells like a general Pilsner that you can get anywhere else in the world. But it doesn't smell super terrible. It doesn't smell great either. I'm giving it a half. So I'm not hating on it, but again, it's not like nothing about it's like, oh, I cannot wait to taste this. But alright, I'm going to give it a half. So alright, let's get into the taste. And, it's not bad. It's lighter. It's kind of watery. But there's not like a lingering, really bad flavor to it. Like you get with cheap Pilsners. With cheap Pilsners, you get that lingering, wet tobacco bread thing that just, you can't get the taste off your tongue fast enough. This one is really, it's kind of watery, and the taste is gone pretty quickly. And so you have that doughy, it has like a doughy flavor to it. Again, maybe a little lemon zest, not heavy on that, but that's present. There's not a whole lot going on. The pepper aroma that I was speaking of, that's not really present when you drink it. It's more just, kind of, I think it's more to do with the carbonation than anything else. Yeah, truthfully, the flavor does not last. That's generally why you put the lime in there. You get some of that lime and it stays with you. This, it's almost, you drink it, it's done. You can't taste it anymore. Which, that might be what you're looking for in a super hot beer when it's just so hot outside. You just need something crisp to drink. And oftentimes, at least for me, sometimes a beer is so much more refreshing than just a glass of water. There's just something about it. There's that little extra in it that kind of just like, and you don't want anything with like a super heavy flavor. So if that's, what you're looking for, if you haven't had Corona Extra before, sure, check it out. But I think for taste, I'm going to give it another half. I like to badmouth Corona, or at least I have, I'm sure, in previous videos before. But to be perfectly honest, there are plenty of other mass-produced beers that are far worse than this. And so, if you can drink it cold, it's going to be fine. I'm sure it's one of those things where once it starts to heat up, it's, not that great. But out of the glass, it's not bad, and it doesn't have that super skunkiness to it. I don't know, with clear glasses, that's kind of hit and miss. I could, maybe I just picked the right one out. It's hard to tell, really, and so you might have one that has a bit of a skunkiness. That's just, whatever. But the good thing is, Corona is so heavily produced, and it is the #1 beer import in the United States, that it doesn't sit in shelves long, so it won't skunk as quickly. If you were to go with a clear bottle of something else, maybe from a different part of the world that is not as popular, that's going to get that skunkiness. So at least with this one, I'm not getting that skunky thing going on. Again, there's nothing great about the beer. There's not, but it's not that bad either. So I'm going to give it a half on that again. So, alright, next category is value for price, and almost as always, it is an import, but Mexican imports are not badly priced at all. It is mass-produced, so the price is not that much more than, a Miller or a Budweiser or a Coors, whatever. The price is comparable to that, and yet it's an import, so normally you'd pay more, but... So yeah, I will recommend it for value for price. It is you can't really beat the price when you're looking for an import. Next is distinction. How distinct is it from other, just beers of its kind? In terms of Mexican beers, the next closest thing you really have to compare it to is Modelo. Of course, this is owned by Modelo, and produced by Modelo, so they're real similar. It's almost like Budweiser making Miller and Budweiser. There's a little difference, but not a whole lot. So, but in terms of just general other Mexican beers, this would be towards the bottom of the list if I went to a Mexican restaurant and got some food and some drinks, because there's a lot of other Mexican beers I'd much rather have. And in general, at a store or at any place where there's a bunch of other kind of beers, I would not get this. And just because the distinction it's just not there. It's just kind of a run-of-the-mill, mass-produced beer. So I'm not going to recommend that distinction. Now, drinkability. Would I have an issue with drinking, multiple of these in one session? I'm going to say probably not. It's one of those beers, as long as you drink it cold, you will not have a problem. Once it starts to get warm, it's going to be more of a struggle because you're going to get more of that wet wheat taste, and that will start to, and the smell will kind of drag it down. So as long as it's cold, you won't have a problem with it, number one. So I will recommend it for that. And alright, last category is would I buy it again? And honestly, no, I have no need to buy more Coronas. There are plenty of better Mexican beers. There are tons of better, just other beers in general. And so I really have no need to buy a Corona outside of, doing these kinds of videos or whatever. So, but that's my review. In a couple weeks, there is the Corona Familiar. I don't remember if that's exactly what it is. Supposedly, it's the exact same flavor or exact same recipe, just in a black, larger glass. But from what I've read, it actually tastes a little different. So I'm going to give that a whirl in a little bit. But I think I will eventually do other videos where I compare this to the other versions of Corona. That's supposed to be the same thing, just in a different kind of bottle or packaging. Maybe it tastes better. But alright, that's it. If you've had Corona Extra before, you probably have. Let me know in the comments. Maybe this is your go-to beer. Maybe there's others that you like better. Let me know. But that is about it. So for myself and for Corona Extra, take it easy.